Cruise news time. And look, I've got some wild stories today, including the headline story of the couple that got caught doing it. Caught doing it on a Carnival cruise ship camera, and now they're in big trouble. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face. On Monday, November the 6th, 2023. Happy November, everybody. Yes, I am back in the studio. Yesterday, we got off of the Carnival celebration, concluding our last Halloween group cruise. This has been a great annual tradition for us, only interrupted by that pesky cruise shutdown. And while it's the last group cruise for us for the foreseeable future, no group cruises in 2024. And we really don't know what the future holds beyond that. So let me take a moment to say thanks to those folks that were on the cruise with us last week, and also a huge thanks to the hundreds of folks that have cruised with us over the last 6 years. You've certainly made our experiences special. Thank you for such great memories and such great cruises. Now let's process through the cruise news. Cruise news story number one, a sad story coming off of the Norwegian Pearl. Norwegian Pearl hosting a theme cruise, the Headbangers Boat Cruise, which is a heavy metal themed cruise. We have news from that cruise ship that there was a 41-year-old passenger who went overboard. The incident occurred about 177 miles southeast of Miami. And unfortunately, after an extensive search and rescue mission by the Coast Guard and the Norwegian Pearl, the passenger was not recovered and the search has been suspended. We don't have any information as to the circumstance of why the passenger went overboard, but it's sad. And so our thoughts and prayers go out with the family of the person. And we'll continue to hold out hope that there is some positive resolution to the situation. But unfortunately, most of these stories end in the same way, where the person who went overboard was not recovered. Cruise news story number two, and an exciting story for MSC Cruises and the Port of Miami. We have the MSC luxury cruise ship Explora 1 from the MSC Explorer's Journeys line, making its very first stop in what used to be the world's most popular cruise port, Miami, Florida. I keep giving updates on Explora 1 because I really do think that this is going to be an interesting new vector for MSC as it continues to try to penetrate the North American market, this time trying to penetrate at the luxury level. And it's interesting to see Explora 1 make its rounds to all of the famous cruise ports across the world, and certainly making its way to Miami, a big feather in the cap of MSC and MSC Explorer's Journeys and MSC Explora 1. Just going through the story, MSC has some tongue twisters when it comes to their cruise ships. Is it the seaside, the seashore? Is it something to do with Sally selling something? I don't know, but I still struggle to try to talk about Explorer's Journey and Explorer's 1, but I'm dang excited. This is a cruise ship I would like to get on, and now it's made its first stop in Miami. Cruise news story number three, we have another record-breaking season for an American cruise port. This time we're talking about the Port of New Orleans, the Port of NOLA, the Port of Nolans, the Port of Beignets, celebrating 1.2 million cruise passengers up to this point in 2023. Of course, New Orleans is one of those featured ports on the Gulf of Mexico. And interestingly, it's not just the ocean cruises that are pushing New Orleans forward with their passenger count. Port of New Orleans is an entryway to the Mississippi River, which will take you all the way to the middle of the United States. And because of that fact alone, there's a lot of riverboats using New Orleans as a home port, as we see the increase of river cruises in the United States. Congratulations, New Orleans, for your milestone. I cruised out of New Orleans this year, and I saw a rat as big as a dog on the street. It freaked me out a little bit, I'll just be honest. But yeah, I have cruised out of New Orleans. I will probably do it again. Have you cruised out of the Big Easy? If so, you can leave a comment below. Now, I gotta talk to you about what I think are probably the dumbest two cruisers I've heard about lately. Got caught doing it on the ship camera, and now they're in big trouble. But before I do that, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. Did you guys catch this crazy phenomena that happened on Friday. The Beatles, you know, the 1960s, early 70s, the Beatles, they released a record that contained all 4 members of it on it. We're talking about the 2 alive members and the 2 dead members. They have a brand new Beatles song out and a brand new Beatles video out, and it's tripping me out a little bit. The backstory is, back in the day after the Beatles broke up, John Lennon had recorded a few demo songs onto a cassette tape, and his wife Yoko Ono was holding it. And then after John's death, a few years after John's death, she gave the tape to Paul McCartney. And as he explored that tape, there were 3 songs on it. They made songs out of 2 of those tapes all the way back in 1994, 1995. But there was one song that they had trouble extracting John Lennon's voice from the piano, and so they didn't make that song. And well, because of technology, something that Peter Jackson, of course, of the Lord of the Rings fame, and then recently a Beatles documentary, he came up with the technology that perfectly extracted John Lennon's voice from the background piano, and they had what they needed to make a new song. And interestingly, they were able to use some recordings from George Harrison, who had passed away, on guitar, and then it's all enhanced by Ringo and Paul, and bingo bango, we have us a new Beatles song. But you may be asking yourself, how does this Beatles story relate to the Carnival cruise passengers that got caught doing it on camera on a Carnival cruise ship? Well, the connection may be purely in my brain, but as I've been reading the story and thinking about this whole show today, stuck in my head is the classic Beatles song, Why Don't We Do It in the Road? Why don't we do it in the road? If you've never heard that song, because it's a little bit of a deep cut, check that out. Great song, great John Lennon song. But yeah, the Carnival couple that got caught doing it on camera. You know what they got caught doing? The story is simple. There was a couple that was channeling their inner Danny Ocean, or whatever character that Sandra Bullock played, and they decided to do a heist. They went all Ocean's 11 on the ocean, and the plan was foolproof. They'd wait till late at night, then they would go into the art auction and they would swipe these 2 sculptures. And well, that's what happened. And the wild thing is that the theft wasn't immediately realized. It took some time for the art folks there to do inventory on the cruise ship. And they're like, hey man, you seen those sculptures? And the guy's like, I hadn't seen the sculptures. And so they reviewed the video, and bingo bango, they found that they got swiped by a couple passengers. And well, in case you don't know it, when you're on a cruise ship, you submit your picture, and then you're on video camera all the time, and they got facial recognition. I'm just saying, they know that it's you when you're doing stuff on a cruise ship. Hello, hello. If you're stealing from the stores, if you're doing things on your balcony, if you're doing stuff on a cruise ship, it's going to be on the camera, unless you go overboard. Sometimes they don't. That's a weird thing, right? We could talk about that later. But yes, for the most part, if you're doing things inside the cruise ship, you're going to get busted on the camera. That's what happened to these art thieves. And then in the sad twist of fate, one of the people that stole the sculpture, they just happened to be wearing the same shirt during the heist that they wear in their Facebook profile. And so they were able to match pictures from the internet with the video footage. They were able to track the person down. The FBI executed a search warrant on the couple's house, and they went in and they found the sculptures right there on the mantle. I don't know if it was on the mantle, but could you imagine that? You'd be like, these are the things we stole from a cruise ship. And look, this wasn't any cheap theft. These 2 pieces of art, which I don't really care for, altogether cost over $12,000. Look, simple question for the comments today. Where did they go wrong? I mean, stealing's wrong. That's probably the first place, but could they have done it in a way that they did not get caught? I don't know, but apparently not. But now we're waiting to see if they get in trouble. The FBI is trying to decide whether or not to press charges. I don't know if maybe they gave the art back and they're like, we'll slap on the wrist. I'm assuming they'll never get to cruise on Carnival again. This happened on the Carnival Splendor. I guess I should say that. Yeah. Crazy story. Couple got caught doing it on camera, and this is the case of the bumbling art thieves. It's a wild world. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. Shout out, Luda. I hope you enjoyed the show today. Hit that like button on the way out. This is Tony for La Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Cruise News.